Hey folks, Randy here doing Cut and Trim. So we're playing with camera angles. So somebody asked me on video if I could show what tools I carry around with me in the truck. And I figured I would, and I figured I would just let you guys be up high and look down on me while I did it, and maybe it'd be easier. So I'm going to take my hat off so you can see me better. All right, so I don't carry a whole lot. I try and carry tools that'll do the most good. And also I like to keep things as compact as possible, which if you guys have been watching me for a channel, you know I like to keep everything as tight and efficient and as whatever as I possibly can. So this is essentially it. This is basically it. So, I'll show you the first couple of things and then, So the first thing is starter fluid. I pretty much never need this. I take care of all my equipment. The only time I bring this out pretty much is in the mornings when it's cold. The Toro Time Master doesn't like to start. So I like to have a little bit of starter fluid towards the beginning of the season and towards the end. During the summertime, it doesn't matter, but starter fluid's nice to have. And then this will play into the other tools. This is my Milwaukee M12 Impact. It's 3/8. I use this for changing blades and also for working on stuff. And then this is the Milwaukee M12 3/8 ratchet. This is the greatest tool in the history of tools. I love this thing. I use it for everything. I even if you're not a 12-volt guy, I strongly recommend you getting this. Not the Husky one, not the Earthquake one from Harbor Freight, the Milwaukee M12 3/8 ratchet. And when you went first, you're like, I don't think I need that. You don't think you need it until you've used it for a job, because once you've had a job where instead of just going for everything, you just pull the trigger, there's no going back, man. So those are the two power tools I keep with me. And then I bring the Tekton 3/8 socket set. Now this socket set, I'm just going to tell you, I had a frustrating repair somewhat recently, and part of that frustration was my kit fell over, and so a couple sockets went missing. So I got to replace it, so don't judge me when you see that. But the thing I really like about this Tekton kit is they don't skip sizes. That drives me nuts. It's in both metric and standard, and it's deep and shallow sockets. So for the metric, it goes from 8 to 19, and with no skipped sizes, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. And then for standard, it goes from, what is that? 5/16 up to 3/4. And then you got, 2 extensions. And then, of course, you got the ratchet, which is actually also pretty nice. I like using this thing. But, obviously, prefer to use this bad boy. Alright. So that's the socket set. And then, for the rest of the tools, I call her sister-in-law. I guess technically she's not. But Samantha gave this to me for Christmas this past year. So this is my first year using this. And Samantha, if you end up watching this, I love this thing. And if you ever get me for the Christmas exchange again, I would gladly take another one. All right, so you pop that open, you unroll it, and here's the rest of the tools that I carry with me. So you got a scraper. You guys know what that's for. It's for scraping the deck. You know that. The steel tool, you need to always carry one of these around with you if you use steel products. Cheap pliers that are small. We're going to come back to this. Better pliers. Box cutter. Don't really know. It's just nice to have. And then I've got my socket set. So these are my standard sockets, not sockets. These are my standard wrenches and then my metric wrenches. And so for metric, I think I go from 8 to 19, I think. Or actually, I might even have a random 21. I have no idea where that came from. And then for standard, I think I go from, well, that's 3/8. So we'll say I go from 3/8 all the way up to 7/8. And then these are, you know, tools for changing tire. I mean, for plug-in tires. And then we've got, can you see this? Yeah, you can. Okay. Excuse me. And then you've got this little pockets over here. I bring these. These are the screwdrivers that I bring. I honestly don't think there's even a screw on my machines, so I don't ever use these. So that's why I just bring tiny ones just in case. Another box cutter that folds. Super cool. Super rusty too. I use that for the fights. And then you know, plugs for the you know what they're for. Plugs for the tires. And then a Schrader valve tool, and then I keep a couple Schrader valves in here, as you can also see. So that's everything I bring, but I wanted to go back to this tool. Have you guys heard of Knipex? Some people call it Knipex. Some people call it Knipex. Those of us that actually watch the YouTube video call it Knipex. And this is a magical tool. I'm not sure that there's a single more awesome tool on the planet. I love this thing. And so what this does is it's designed to keep the jaws always parallel. And so you can just, you set it, you push the button in, and that allows you to set it to whatever size you want it to be. And then I use this all the time. Whenever I'm taking something off, if it's like a bolt on one side and a nut on the other, I'll use these on one side and then this bad boy or the impact on the other side. And so, you know, it gives you an unbelievable amount of clamping pressure. So so let's say typically, if I have to replace the, what am I looking for? What's the word I'm looking for? If I have to replace the belts, the wheel belts on my mower, there's a bolt and nut that's particularly difficult to take off. And so typically what you would do is you would take a wrench and put it on one side and then buzz it off on the other side. But with the wrench, I mean, you know, you got to make sure you get it on there right. It's kind of hard to hold on to. But with this thing, you get it to the right size and then you lock on, and then when you press down, it will not let go. It will not slip. When you press down, the clamping pressure that's generated is 10 times more clamping pressure than you would like with a set of pliers or something like that. So this is by far my favorite tool. I've got the small one. I believe this is the 7-inch. They actually sell the 10-inch at Home Depot. I think it's the 10-inch. And they sell it at Home Depot for about $50, and I almost bought it today. But then I was like, no, we're in the middle of a thing, and I don't want to spend money that I don't need to spend when this thing has already been perfect for everything I need to do. This thing is great for even for like rusted bolts. You can lock on there with this thing, and you just squeeze down on it. It's not going anywhere. So put that back. So these are the tools I carry with me, and like I said, again, shout out to my sister-in-law, Samantha, for buying this thing for me. I love this thing so much. This tool roll, it's a Carhartt tool roll. And man, you know, it's just like it's all those tools are now just in this little roll. It's just, I love it. So these are the tools that I have. It's what I carry around with me. It's obviously it's not a lot, but it's enough to work on everything in my arsenal. If I needed something more than that, then I'm probably heading back to the shop anyway. So this is Randy with Dolan Cut and Trim. I hope this video was helpful to you. I hope you got something out of it. What tools do you carry in your truck? Let me know in the comments below. Have a good one.